the delay. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank you for joining us today for the potential fairs presentation.
Edna, sorry, let me interrupt you. We haven't started the webinar yet. I can start it.
Yes.
Would you like me to start it now?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, I'll restart. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the potential fairs presentation. One sec.
Recording in progress.
My name is Edna Parr. I'm the Community Engagement and Outreach Manager at CapMetro. We look forward to discussing our fair programs with you today. I know everyone is very busy, so we appreciate you taking the time to participate and engage with us on this topic. Just some general housekeeping. We have live closed captioning available in English. You can turn this feature on by clicking the closed caption button in the Zoom meeting toolbar, which is located in the bottom of your screen. We also have Spanish translation available for this meeting. I'm going to shift over to Spanish now to do the general housekeeping. Buenas tardes a todos. Quiero agradecerles por acompañarnos hoy para la presentación de tarifas potenciales. Mi nombre es Edna Parra, soy la gerente de alcance y participación comunitaria en CapMetro. Esperemos discutir nuestros programas de tarifas con usted. Sí que sé que todos están muy ocupados, por eso les agradecemos que estén aquí con nosotros y tomen el tiempo para participar en nuestra junta y con nosotros en este tema. Si desea escuchar esta presentación en español, tenemos interpretación disponible. Para escuchar en español en su computadora, presionen el icono del globo en la parte de abajo de su pantalla. Si están en sus tabletas, hagan clic en los tres puntitos más y seleccionen interpretación de idiomas, idioma preferido. Y no olviden presionar listo. Thank you again. Muchísimas gracias. And I'll go ahead and start the presentation. We're here to talk about potential fair programs. First, I'll get into our agency core values. They are innovation, equity, sustainability, transparency, and safety. Throughout this presentation, you'll see a lot of the equity piece and also innovation. We're going to see innovation with the new account-based system that we're going to be referring to as AMP, and also equity with our new two potential fair programs. So to go over the agenda quickly, we are going to do an overview of our fair strategy. We're going to talk first about the technology, the account-based system AMP again. That's going to be needed in order to run these two new potential fair programs, Fair Capping and Equifair. We'll go over what Title VI analysis we need to do and also community engagement and our next steps. So first we'll start with our fair strategy review. So here are the 6 components that have gone into the fair strategy: equity, ridership, programs, technology, revenue, and fair structure. Again, we'll really touch on the technology piece, the new CapMetro app. We're really trying to encourage contactless payments, other innovations and integrations, so we can provide more programs as we move forward with our services, plus the Project Connect program. And also we'll see a lot of the equity piece, so justice, transit, affordability, and other population needs, which we'll get into when we talk about Title VI. So let's jump into technology, the account-based system. We are calling it AMP, so it's an AMP card. And so why AMP? It promotes Austin culture, kind of the music scene. It also highlights our investment in electric vehicles. And of course, we just want people to get amped about transit and energized and, seeing the value of transit. So the AMP new technology, so you will see it in two ways. First, we'll start with the physical card. You'll either have a physical AMP card or you'll have a physical AMP Smart card. The physical card, we will have an initial distribution of physical cards through street teams, pop-up events, partnerships, and an online portal, or of course, always at the CapMetro store, the transit store. If you get your physical AMP card, you register the card, and then you are set to start loading your AMP card with funds. So you can load them at our retail stores. There's about 250 locations that are going to be available, or you can reload them online using a credit card, and of course, always at the transit store again. So once you have your card, you have it loaded, you can pay as you go, and then you'll start earning a day pass or a monthly cap pass, which we'll get into in the next section. The virtual smart card, so if you have your AMP virtual smart card, first we will have to download the new CapMetro app. And once you have it downloaded, you'll register exactly like you do now, and you'll tie it with a credit card, and you're set to go, kind of the same way as a physical card. You will start earning a daily cap pass or a monthly cap pass as you tap your phone. So in both instances, if you are tied to an AMP card, then you can start using fare capping as soon as you start using it, and Equifair for eligible customers. Here we see the retail map where we'll be having the reload station. So anywhere in these locations, if you go, you can pay cash and you can load your physical smart card in any of these retailer stores like 7-Eleven, Dollar General, CVS, Family Dollar, and Walgreens. So, and this will be available to our customers so they can toggle on and off, see where their nearest location is, or if they prefer a certain retailer, they can choose that way too. So why use the AMP card? What are the benefits of an account-based system? So an AMP card, once you start using an AMP physical or virtual card, you can pay as you go, and again, you start taking advantage of those fare capping benefits. It also protects you from any stored value that you have in the card. So if you lose your card or you get it stolen, you would call customer service and they would give you that money back or give you a new card and transfer those funds to that card. Then if you have an AMP card, you can also use our discounted fare benefits. So if you are an existing reduced fare customer, or if you're eligible for Equifare, you can start using the AMP card and take advantage of those two programs once we switch over. And of course, fare capping. So even if you're not registered through the AMP card, you can still use it for fare capping. So as long as you have a physical card, you store value in it, and you're set to go, and you start taking advantage of the fare capping savings once you start the tap and pay as you go with the physical or virtual card. Some frequently asked questions on the AMP card. So some frequently asked questions, how do you load money to your AMP account? Again, so you would reload your money. You can go online, you pay with a credit card. If you are using your app, then you would just reload money with the credit card that's tied with that app. Or you'd also go to any of the retail stores and reload with cash at the 250 plus locations that we just saw. How can I get the AMP account in my app? So once the program comes out, and customers will need to download the new CapMetro app, and they're going to register for the AMP account automatically when they fill in their information and they put in their credit card. Is the AMP Smart Card free? Yes. So we will have the AMP Smart Card distribution. They will all be free. You can order them online, or we'll have pop-up locations, and also Right now, replacement cards will also be free. That could be subject to change later, but it would also have to go through another equity analysis in the future. And can I use the physical card and virtual card interchangeably? So no, customers will have to choose either the physical card or virtual card. And so once they've chosen, they'll use that system, keep reloading money either through the card or the app, and then of course start saving with the day or monthly fare capping options. Now I'm going to start talking about the potential fare programs that will be taken to the board in July. So we have fare capping and Equifare. We know that we want to make fares more equitable, and we also know that low-income customers who depend on our services the most tend to pay for their transit passes one trip at a time instead of taking advantage of the savings that come with like a monthly or day pass. So we want to bring those savings to our customers, and that is why we're recommending the two programs. We'll start first with fare capping. So what is fare capping? Fare capping eliminates the upfront cost for riders. It also takes away the burden of purchasing the monthly pass in advance or a day pass in advance, and replaces it with a pay-as-you-go system. So instead of going out and buying a pass, then using it, maybe something happens that month and you're not able to use it. You use it as you go. If you continue to use our services for enough times that month, then it earns you that day pass or month pass that you used to have to buy up front. This also, everybody who has an AM card will be able to use fare capping. So again, once you get that card or sign up on the app, then everyone's going to immediately start taking advantage of fare capping with that AMP system. So we'll get into a little bit on how it works. So let's say that you take your first ride one day, you pay $1.25, and that you go to lunch that same day. You take your second ride, it's another $1.25. For that day, you've paid $2.50. So anything after that, you're going to ride for free. So ride 3, 4, 5, and on. You're going to be riding free for the rest of the day. And for the month, if you're taking the bus, it's about 33 trips in 1 month. So if you're riding on average twice a day, you're paying for 2 of those trips with fare capping. On the 17th day, about midday, you would start riding free for the rest of that month. The steps on how to do fare capping. So again, the technology piece, so you get your AMP account, your AMP smart card, either your physical card or virtual card through the new CapMetro app. And then you add cash to your AMP smart card. So you do that either through your stored, through your app, through your stored value, or with your physical card at a retail store. Then you tap your card and you pay as you go. So every time you get on the bus, you start tapping, you get on the train, you start tapping, and then you start moving towards earning your daily cap pass or earning your monthly cap pass. Some questions have come up with fare capping. So will this fare capping be available for everyone? Yes, anyone who has the AMP physical or smart AMP physical card or the AMP smart card on their phone can receive fare capping. Do you have to have that registered on your phone? It'll automatically register. So yes, on a physical card, you don't have to. So you can just have an AMP card carrying. You can just carry an AMP card not registered, and you can still be using that card and taking advantage of fare capping. But if you lose the card and it's not registered, then you can't transfer any balance. So that's why we encourage people to register your card. And also, if you are eligible for reduced fare or Equifare, then you get the benefits of those savings once you're registered. So that's kind of the overview of fare capping. Now we'll move on to Equifare. So this is a new discounted category. This is in addition to our existing discounted category that's going to continue along with Equifare. So what is Equifare? Equifair is a potential new discounted fare program for eligible customers. Eligible customers may apply online or at the transit store, and once they enroll, they will receive a discounted fare program through the AMP Smart Card. Equifair customers will also be able to take advantage of fare capping. So this will provide additional savings to riders each month. We'll take a look at that in a chart in a few slides. And we're here. So this is the community engagement phase, and we're here right now to look for best practices for eligibility. We want to know how to enroll folks, what an application should look like, eligibility guidelines, anything that'll help us reduce any barriers to the Equifair program. And we'll have more specific questions as we go along, but feel free to drop them in the chat. We'll also have an email we'll provide, and we also have a public input site for anybody that wants to put more feedback or answer specific questions that we have there. So here we're looking at a similar program at a peer transit agency. So DART in Dallas has something similar to the AMP card. So they have the Go Pass Tap. So people, riders start using the Go Pass Tap. They tap it at the fare box. They are taking advantage of fare capping, and they're also taking advantage of their reduced fare program. So we'll now shift over to look at our current fare types. So we have two current fare types. We have the standard fare. So if you look at the left column, that's a standard fare cost. So a single ride is about $1.25. And a reduced is it's 60 cents. So it's about 50% off our standard fare transit passes right now. Those folks who are eligible, it's senior 65 and older, Medicare card holders, and active duty military personnel, and riders with disabilities. So right now, those are our 4 categories. And that again is still gonna move forward. There will move to the AMP system, but there will be no other changes. If somebody is eligible to be in the reduced fare system, then they will still be, if they're eligible for both, they will be in the reduced fare because that is a steeper discount. And now we can look at the potential new fare structure. So again, the left column has our current standard fare, and the proposed Equifare is on the right column. So Equifare for single ride local bus would be $1. For a day pass would be $2, and so on. So I think, you know, once you get on the AMP card, you'll start taking advantage of Equifare, and again, fare capping if you're eligible for Equifare. So we can look at really what we're looking at for how to determine eligibility. So here's the list that we have for now. We've even added a few that folks have recommended through community meetings. So the Texas Energy, if somebody is in their Texas Energy discount program, then they would also be eligible automatically to be in our system or MAP Basic along with a MAP. Also, we know some of these programs can be limiting, so we do want to open it up to anybody with a household income less than 200% of the federal poverty level. So if you don't fall into any of these programs but can prove that you fall in less than the 200% FPL, then we would have an income verification, or we're trying to solve how to best verify that category itself. So in addition to that, we're also looking at self-verification. So if you're filling it out somewhere and you don't have your program card that can verify your eligibility, then you can self-verify. It would be potentially audited at a later time, but we do want to make sure that everybody can easily apply on the spot, or easily apply if they're in a computer, but don't have their verification documentation. So we'll come back and kind of have more questions on eligibility and enrollment, but for now, we can look at the fair capping plus Equifair example. So kind of similar to what we saw above. Let's say that Victoria rides the bus to work. She pays for a single ride with Equifair and fair capping. With her AMP card, she's paying $1. Victoria has to go to the doctor. She takes another ride at lunch. So she pays another $1. And then, so Victoria for that day has reached the cap for the day pass. And when she goes home that evening, or no, actually, when she comes back from the doctor, that ride is free. So, and then when she goes home to after work, then that ride is free too. So anything again after 2 rides would be free for the day. And again, we're in the community engagement phase. So potential Equifair best practices. So now if what we're looking at is self-verification. So on the spot, they don't have to submit any documentation, show anything to apply. We're also looking for anything, best practices for an online application, open enrollment events, pop-up events. Also, what income verification documentation do other social service programs use, and what's the best practices? Is it a self-attest form that we can also create if they're not able to prove documentation? Do social service programs verify for them, and also do they verify for them if they don't have an address? And right now we're looking at a 24-month rolling enrollment. Feedback on that or other things to consider on any of these items. So again, kind of the specific questions, what do we need to consider as we're going through this process? Who can we partner with for rollout? So it's either who do we partner with for any auto enroll opportunities, or who do we partner with if we're going to have a series of pop-up events during implementation or every 6 months? Who would be a good partner to connect with? And then of course, what communities do we need to consider? We're speaking to a lot of different communities, community leaders, but who else do we need to connect with and really make sure that we're using the right systems for the actual enrollment and also for implementation of our programs. So what's next? So again, right now we're doing the community engagement period. We're reaching out to organizations. We are reaching out to try to do a lot of one-on-one meetings or potentially meetings with their stakeholders or community members. We also have a list of kind of all of the communications and community engagement items that we're doing. So anywhere from the webpage, social media, graphics, bus placards, stop outreach, in-person events, agency one-on-ones, partnerships, of course, our committees, and our internal engagement, which means our frontline and also our administrative staff. Oh, no, looks like. So also we have the Title VI analysis underway. We know that we're doing this, so we have a required Title VI analysis. So our consultant 49 Technology is conducting a fair equity analysis, and that will be posted in the upcoming weeks. So we will have that on our FAIRS page. We'll have a summary, and we'll also have the report where people can come look at it, and we'll also be sharing that information once that's finalized in our next community meetings. Other next steps, so again, conducting more virtual meetings. I think our next phase is going to be very specific to everyone that's been engaged at this time. We really want to have more one-on-one meetings with our stakeholders and ask them how we can connect directly with their community members and how we can share the survey that we have on the website. And also we're exploring database integrations for online eligibility. So anything that we can do to partner with existing discount programs in the area. That's going to be extremely helpful, so we can auto enroll folks or give them the option of enrolling themselves, but maybe they're already pre-approved because they're in an existing program. And that's it. That concludes our meeting. We want to check to see if we have any questions that have come up, and give everyone a minute before kind of closing it off. I'll double check what's going on social media. And while we're doing that, this screen just has, again, our email. You can email me at edna.para@capmetro.org for any questions, or for any one-on-one meetings that you want to request, or maybe a presentation to your community. Also, if you visit www.capmetro.org/fair-programs, from there you have an explanation of all the things that we discussed today. Plus, we also have the link to the public input survey if you want to share with your networks. And I will double check. We don't have any questions now. So thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for taking the time to learn, and really, if you have any feedback, please let us know. If you have any communities that we can reach out to, please let us know. And again, you'll find this information on the website, and also our public input site if you'd like to share that. And we have a really great social media campaign. So anytime you can amplify that or share with your networks, that's extremely helpful for us. But thank you so much, and thank you for the web team that helped us, and also for our translators today. So I hope everybody has a great day, and thank you, and we will be ending.